Welcome to the Faculty Focus podcast, live from our annual Faculty Research Day with your hosts
Marleen
and
Teun,
highlighting the research of our professors and PhD researchers. Hi again. Our last guest of today is Professor Ruth Müller. She works as a professor of entomology at the Institute of Tropical Medicine in Antwerp, and she's also an associated professor at the Department of Biomedical Sciences at the University of Antwerp. Welcome, Professor. Your topic of today is biodiversity, climate change and health, advances in vector biology and sustainable control strategies. Can you start with explaining vector biology to a non-scientist like myself?
Sure. Thank you for inviting me. The mosquitoes have a quite interesting life cycle, I believe. So the adult mosquitoes that you all know from buzzing in your bedroom, so they lay eggs into normally small water containers filled like rain barrels, or can be even wasted plastic containers, toys from the kids. So all these little containers, they like to lay their eggs. And then there are 4 larvae stages. Then there's a pupa stage. The pupa they don't eat anymore, so they just transfer into the adult life stage. So when the mosquitoes hatch from this aquatic environment to the terrestrial environment, they first have to feed on sugar or nectar, for example, from the flowers or from rotten fruits, even Coca-Cola they like. So, and then the females, only the females, they have to take a blood meal, so they bite you, take the blood, and this is needed to generate and mature the eggs, which are then laid again, so it's a complete cycle.
And why is it called vector biology then?
Biology is clear, so we have the life cycle, but a vector is transporting something from A to B, and in case of our mosquito, is it that the pathogens, human pathogens or also veterinary relevant pathogens, they are transmitted by the mosquito, so they take it up with the blood meal. The pathogen replicates in the mosquito, and then it's disseminated to a host. In our case, it's human host or animal hosts. Okay. That's the cycle, and that's the vector part in the vector biology.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So, well, the interesting part is that you connected to climate change as well. How does climate change mess with the things that researchers already know about vector biology?
First of all, I would like to call it climate crisis.
Climate crisis, yes,
probably
that's stronger.
The more
Accurate.
it's more realistic.
Yeah.
So I work a lot in the Hindu Kush Himalaya region, and there we see how fast those climatic changes manifest. Mm-hmm. So we have the distribution of mosquitoes really they climb the mountains. We can also see the tropical mosquitoes even arrived here in Belgium, and I would say
like
Belgium has
mosquito?
not really in a tropical environment. Yes,
No.
The Asian tiger mosquito arrived just here in Wilwijk. So that are all signs that our climate is more suitable for the mosquitoes, and that they can survive. Of course, they also adapt. So this is also what we study, how mosquitoes can adapt to this fast or rapidly changing environments. And mosquitoes respond very directly to temperature. So the higher the temperature, the better or faster is the development time. They can have also a longer survival on certain optimal conditions. But also there at one stage it's also too hot for them. So this is also what we study about heat islands in the tropics. What is the risk? So maybe it's just too hot and then they don't have any more the vectors, or there's at least a vector-free seasonal period. This kind of things we are interested in.
So do we have to wait until the climate is so hot that we don't have mosquitoes anymore? Not a good plan.
I think in Belgium I would not wait for that.
Probably not.
But if you go really to the tropics, then it can, of course, occur that you have local places where you have now the transmission, they become transmission free, but there are new areas which are then affected, and that has also a bit of risk because people in areas they know already that the mosquitoes can transmit these pathogens, what kind of preventive measures can be taken. But then if you have a new area, so people are kind of not only immunity naive, but they also have lesser knowledge and maybe lesser prevention. The health system is not really prepared for it. The doctors don't know exactly the symptoms.
Not aware of the risk yet.
Yeah. And this we see also in Belgium, for example, that people are just starting to understand the risk and
recognizing those type of mosquitoes.
But the Asian tiger mosquito is here to stay.
Yes,
Probably.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, we try also, the government tries to control them and to avoid the establishment of mosquitoes. And if they become established, to really try to eradicate the small populations. This can be done at the beginning, so we are now in a stage that we still have the chance to eradicate local Asian tiger mosquito populations. But if you see then, like in Italy, for example, the country is full of these mosquitoes. There is no way to eradicate local populations. There it's more to contain than the outbreaks of vector-borne disease. That's a different kind of scenario.
Yeah, but people traveling can take them home in their cars, probably.
Yes, this is for the, let's say, more near-distance transport of Aedes albopictus, this tiger mosquito. We could see it also in Belgium when we started to monitor the parking lots. So we really could see over the years more and more parking lots became positive for the tiger mosquito. So the mosquitoes traveled by car. Yeah. So kind of hitchhiking, you can say.
Do you think they prefer diesel or electric?
What I can say that they definitely prefer expired car tires.
Really? Okay.
Discarded car tires because there's always a little water zips.
Of course.
The eggs can even fall dry for up to half a year. Yeah. And then with the next rain, the eggs get wet and then the hatching starts and you have a new population at a very different place probably because there's also a lot of car tire trading.
Yeah, and they don't disintegrate car tires. If they're on the side of the road, they are there for a very long time, of course. Yeah, okay. Well, with a certain fact in mind that the world will keep on changing, how can you make disease management itself more resilient or sustainable?
So there are two measures I would propose. On the one hand, to increase ecosystem resilience so that the natural systems can defend themselves. So if you have, for example, more higher biodiversity again of insect predators,
they eat the mosquitoes, for instance.
Mosquito larvae. So we saw this with aquatic beetles. That can be an option. Of course, it's not the only option, but you can just support the ecosystem. So there we have to know more about it, more studies, ecologists and the medical sector really have to work together, which is sometimes not so easy. So pure ecology to talk with biomedical or medical doctors. And then the other one, and it's directly related also, the vector control tools that we have at the moment, they are very limited. So insecticides are challenged by insecticide resistance and also have a lot of undesired non-target effects. Then we can have some larvicides, but then you have really go with a lot of people, a large team you need to drop these larvicides in each single small water container that you can find, and maybe the areas are not accessible, so very difficult. That's what we are doing now.
So, and those are more eco-friendly as well?
Yes, they are eco-friendly. The point, there are other techniques like this sterile insect techniques where you release the mosquitoes and they it avoids that they get offspring. So this is something which is now a bit rising. Wolbachia approaches. There are a lot of field trials at the moment in the Global South and even in the implementation phase. So there are some options, but we have to be, on the one hand, more open to new vector control tools as a society also.
Yeah.
But also a lot of research, operational research, implementation research is needed. And I think that's also, we are always looking for the fundamental and applied research, but there is a kind of a gap to bring it further. And
In
there,
society.
yeah, into the society, but also the regulatory bodies,
Okay, yeah.
the industry. So we all have to work together to get it solved. It's really a huge task. And
Can imagine, yeah.
yeah.
All right. Quite some things to do.
Yes.
All right. Is there any other things you'd like to share with us concerning your research?
If I talk about vector-borne disease, so we talked a lot about the tiger mosquito, but of course the Malaya disease is still the most significant public health burden if you talk about mosquitoes. So we have also quite some research running on Anopheles mosquito, mainly to understand their swarming behavior, to maybe find a way there to get rid of a large bunch of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
But difficulty is they swarm during the night, so you have to see them during the night. But we developed quite nice technology together with the University of Wageningen to record the swarming during the night. And now we start to think of how we can apply this knowledge to something which can contribute to vector control. So that's also research which is ongoing, and I think it's also critical for making progress on this topic.
Indeed. So like temperature is a big factor, but is humidity also a factor for these vectors?
Yes, of course, but I think it will not be a limiting factor in the future because the climate will become just more humid. So for the mosquitoes, the environmental conditions improve at a large scale, at a large global scale.
All right. And then our final question: is there a story about research that you could share with us?
Maybe the initial motivation or inherent motivation for this climate crisis research or climate impact research was when I had, during my PhD, I made research in the Arctic on Spitsbergen. I visited there 2 summers, this New Orleans research village. And it was really impressive to see a new island arise during these 2 years only because the glacier retreated and there was then this island occurred. Yeah. And also when we went by boat through the fjords and on the map there was just glacier and we traveled just 1 hour by boat where there should be a glacier. So this and also in the Himalaya, 5,000 meters above sea level. I just went there and it was amazing to see how fast these glaciers are melting. That's where I can see, and it's not a fun fact, but it's a strong motivation I have, and I think we all have to do our best to avoid that it's really getting worse in the future.
It's very real if you see it for yourself, of course.
Yes. So that was probably I have a bit an advantage to understand the urgency, but I hope
therefore the
I
crisis.
can explain people about the urgency.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.